Hey there, Cozy Babe, and welcome in to this pick a card reading. Thank you so much, Tarot Stack, for sponsoring this video, but a little more on that later. So today's reading, we are going to focus on really what is coming in the next 30 days from when you are seeing this video. So it doesn't matter if it's now or months from now, you will find this video, or it will find you rather, when the time is right. So we have 3 different piles to choose from. Pile number 1, we have an astro dice with the number 2 on it. Also paired with a rose quartz heart crystal. Pile number 2, we have the sun here. That's the symbol for the sun. There you go. As well as a locally found oyster shell to the beach that I live by. And then pile number 3, we have this crystal. It's like Dynamante, something like that. It's got an interesting name. And then this is paired up with the Sagittarius symbol. So those may help you select one of the piles here. We're also going to be using all different decks here. So go ahead and make your selection, and then we will get into it starting from pile number 1. And let's get into it. All right, pile number 1, if you chose this deck as well as the number 2 and the rose quartz, this is going to be your reading. So first and foremost, thank you so much for listening to my ad. I appreciate it. It gives to both our sponsor, who I love so much, as well as back to me, so I can put food on my table and all that jazz. So just thank you for bearing with me for a moment while I talk to you about today's sponsor. So today's sponsor is Tarot Stack. Y'all know Tarot Stack. We work with them all the time. They are an online retailer that sells indie tarot decks. So basically they work with independent artists to distribute their tarot decks. Every deck that you see here today is one that comes from Tarot Stack, and I've genuinely never been disappointed. I have shopped with them even before I was ever representing them or like working with them on sponsored content. I was already someone that loved them, so it was like a perfect fit for my channel. And all of their decks are always really high quality, great card stock, and I'm always really impressed with the diversity. So if you're looking for a new tarot deck, every one that we use today, like I said, is from there, to kind of give you a preview of what's available there. And I will leave their link down below for you, as well as links for all of the decks that we use. So thank you so much, Tarot Stack. Let's go ahead and get into this reading. So you chose this deck, which is this one. What is this one called? This one is the Moonchild Tarot, but it's the dark edition. So, oh my goodness. Okay, that was just terrible shuffling. That was not spirit. Mercury's in the microwave, and I feel like I have been all thumbs today. All thumbs, and it's been messy. It's been dicey out here. But let's go ahead and see. All right, so I just want to pull a few cards to also see where you are right now, so I can kind of get like a vibe check. Now, I will say, before getting into your reading and like sitting with it for a moment, I do feel like you might be a little bit more financially focused right now, or trying to like get your bag, up level your life in that way. Maybe you're going for a raise or a promotion. Or maybe you're just really trying to get more into like your material lifestyle. You know, to me, it's giving like luxury, regal energy situation, or maybe you're just trying to change something, manifest more finances. I do feel like if you chose this reading and that sounds like you, this is a good indication that over the next 30 days, your finances are going to be increasing, and you're going to have more so that you're able to give more to yourself. So let's go ahead and see where you're at right now. Okay, we have the 2 of Pentacles reversed, the 6 of Cups upright, the Knight of Swords reversed, and the King of Wands reversed. Okay, bestie, you know you always come to me if you're somebody that comes here a lot, because you come to me because I give you practical guidance and I'm down to earth and real about it. And I'm not Willy Wonka, okay? I don't make sugar at the candy factory. I don't make candy at the candy factory. My dad does that for a living, not me. True story. My father is a vending machine. That's what like he does, vending machines for a living. But not me. Okay. I'm not Willy Wonka. And what I'm seeing here is that you're living really heavily in the past. Something happened in your past that really threw off your energy, and it made you lose your power, and it made you lose this ability to believe that you have good ideas, or like, it's like, excuse me, basically, you've been holding yourself back because you're living in a figment of the past. And I say that because with the Two of Pentacles, I can see that, especially it being reversed, things feel out of whack. Something happened. Okay. Something happened to cause this, and it put you almost in like this freeze state where you felt like really stuck in a past version of yourself, because Six of Cups is like the past. And excuse me, Knight of Swords, I almost said King of Swords. Knight of Swords in its reverse state, it's like there's no action. There's no action. You have so many ideas, and it's what's causing a lot of the stress is you're sitting instead of actually taking action. Or maybe you're doing that thing where you're constantly saving ideas. Like, oh, I'll pin this for later, or I'll save this reel for later, or like you're kind of on like hyperdrive in collecting data and information. Don't get me wrong, I think this can be a really beautiful thing if you're actually executing on those ideas. So that's the problem though, is that there's too much of this, like, I have to get it right, I have to do it right, I need to make sure that I've studied every little angle that I can so that I can do it perfectly. No. No. That'll keep you in that Six of Cups energy. King of Wands in the reverse, this is like feeling powerless, feeling futile, feeling like the things that you do don't make an impact and don't do anything. And let me, your big sister from the internet with practical grounded Taurus energy, just tell you for a moment, you have no idea what your impact actually is. You have no idea who is watching, who is paying attention. And I'm not just talking about like if you're into social media, I'm talking about in your day-to-day life. You have no idea if there's a coworker, a friend, a family member that is so amazed and dazzled by what you do, how you do it, who you are as a person. You don't realize the hole that like would be left if you weren't there. And it's kind of like a hindsight thing, in my opinion. And I don't want to get like, well, I guess I kind of do. I don't want to get super morbid in this reading, but like, I think a really great example of this that I can give to you if this is helpful, if it's not, just disregard it. In 2017, I lost my sister to a drug overdose, and I did not understand the impact, and I will never understand until I am no longer in this world. But I can understand it from that perspective of losing somebody that was so important to me. I did not understand how much that would leave a hole in my family, in my life, in every person that she touched, even if we weren't speaking daily or we weren't as close as we could have been. You know, it's always the coulda, woulda, shoulda after the fact. And it's been years since this happened. You know, I'm in a really good, healthy place with it. But my point is, that's also you. If you weren't there, you would leave such a hole. It would be so noticeable. That is the number one thing. If you ever read people's near-death experiences, the number one thing that they always say is that you don't realize the impact that you actually make just by existing. And so don't even get me started if you actually like have a platform or do social media or put yourself out there in any capacity. You have no idea what your impact is. Even if you're not rolling in money, money can't be the only thing that is pushing you forward. Money can be a great motivator, but what's going to happen when you make all the money that you set out to make? Then what? Something else has to be the drive behind it. And I'm here to also tell you right now, you're not powerless and your ideas are good. Power is something that we always innately have. It is an undercurrent that always runs through us, whether we are listening to it or we aren't, just like hope. Hope never actually goes away. It is always there. It's accessible. It's always there. Sometimes we just can't hear it. And so let's go ahead and see what you need to do in order to get out of this funk, because clearly we're in a funk. So over the next 30 days, what is going to be happening? What is going to be happening? What can we do? What is the practical advice, Spirit? Can you tell us for pile number 1? All right, 3 of Cups. Ooh, I love that. 5 of Swords. 4 of Wands reversed. Ace of Cups. Okay. So 3 of Cups, this to me is about meeting with people, seeing other people, meeting with your girly pops, your friends, community. There is such a collective pull for community right now. In the collective unconscious, there are so many of us that feel this lack. And this is a strong call to meet with people, talk to other people, and if you feel like there isn't a place that you feel like you belong, which I fully resonate with that. You know, I come from a huge family myself of 7 children, and I'm the youngest, and I don't always feel like I fit into that family because I am so different. I was raised very different being the youngest. And I also live a totally different life from any other person in my family. I have such a different mindset. I speak differently. I believe differently. And a lot of it has come from opportunity, but also the choices that I have made. And it feels really hollow sometimes to recognize that I don't always feel like I have that baseline, or also all of the friends that I have, they're all virtual. I have one in-person friend that I'm so grateful that I've made, but I honestly don't have. And I'm saying this because I want you to know that even if you don't have somebody with you day to day, in your face, always with you, that doesn't mean that you can't find that. It doesn't mean that you can't find it in other ways. I am a huge advocate that we are living in the most blessed chapter and timeline that we currently could with what we have. And the fact that you are sitting and listening to this video somewhere on some kind of device means that you have everything you need in the palm of your hand, or maybe it's at a desktop or something. But I'm a huge advocate of online communities. I am a huge, and don't give me your no nuance Nelly bullshit. Okay. Online communities are tits. They are the best. They are awesome. I am the person that I am today because of online communities. And so I will stand and die on this hill. But you can find people in every corner of the world at this point. We don't have to travel hundreds of thousands of miles to get to different villages. You can blink and send an email. You can join my Discord. You can join another Twitch streamer's Discord. You can find people under any niche that you enjoy right now. And you have the privilege of being able to do that. So find your tribe, find your people. Set intention that they're going to come to you. And if you're lucky enough to have people in your life that you can already connect with, then you're already one step ahead. Connect with those people, the people that make you feel good. 5 of Swords upright. This is the victim card. And I hate it when I see this card, bestie. It makes me so mad. It makes me mad, not because the things that happen to you are your fault, because they're not. I will never tell you that. Sometimes you are met with really terrible circumstances and you got the unlucky draw that time. But it is your responsibility to do something with the circumstances that you've been given. It's not your fault. You didn't ask to receive what you received. However, it is your responsibility to heal and to move past it. And sitting in victim mentality is never going to get you to a solution. I'm not saying don't take a couple weeks, a couple, days, weeks, whatever you need, but packing up and putting your entire life on this victim mentality is not going to get you the success that you want. To get what you want out of life, you have to do what you've never done before. And sitting and crying might be something you need to do. I mean, I just talked about this in my podcast this week, where I recently got news from my current landlords that they're not renewing my lease at the end of this year. And I was devastated. Like, I am not in a position right now to move. I don't have the money to do that right now. And I'm going to have to figure it out. Like, everything is figure outable. But did I let myself be a victim for 2 days straight? Yeah, I did. I sat in my bed and cried for 2 days, which, like, what a privilege. And I'm not trying to, like, be blind to that. I understand not everybody has that kind of privilege, but I sat in bed and cried about it. I let myself be that victim, and I really, like, leaned hard into it. And then after those 2 days, I was like, you know what? What are we going to do with this information? I know that this is what's happening now. And am I going to sit here and just cry for the next few months? Or am I going to get up, look at a map, ask myself where I want to go next, and start putting my energy towards finding the right place and asking myself what the best case scenario could be? Because rejection is just redirection. I already know that whatever has been caused here, this was all for my benefit. The universe is always, always, always putting you in the perfect situations to get you to change for the better, to get you into alignment with your highest calling. And even when it seems like the most dire, worst case situation, I could sit here and be a victim to you for the next half hour and tell you how expensive it is to move, how money has housing has destabilized me multiple times in the last 3 years, how moving has destabilized me, how I went through multiple mental health problems while moving and destabilizing myself. Like, I could sit here and tell you all these circumstances that have come to pass left and right. But the thing is, yes, all of those things happened, but I'm going to move forward anyways. And that's just one example. Apply this to your life wherever you are. What happened to you is not your responsibility. It's not your fault, but what you're going to do about it is your responsibility. And yes, sometimes that can be really unfortunate. Like, did I ask to be born into this life as the seventh child disabled in my family? No. Am I though? Yeah. Like, that's what I'm getting at. Like, when you take responsibility for where you are in your life right now and you don't let yourself continuously be a victim, that's when real change has the ability to enter. When you break and, like, crack open, that's how the light gets in. And I cannot stress this enough. Four of Wands here reversed. I do feel like this to me is a little bit of destabilization that you may be going through. But the thing is, if you focus more on what you can control and what you can give to yourself, that's where the real power is going to come through. So ultimately, what you can do, connect with people. Word of mouth is going to be important for you. Let yourself feel your feelings, but do not pack up and put your whole life there. Four of Wands reversed is mainly saying that there might be some destabilization at first, but you can't control that. You need to focus on filling up your own cup and doing what you can do, what is in your power to be done. Outside of that, leave the rest to the universe. Let's go ahead and get some cards from this deck. All right, we have rehabilitation. These cards do not have reversals. Rehabilitation and sacrifice. Ooh, a little snacrifice. Okay. Sacrifice. Gosh, I have such an unhealthy relationship with the word sacrifice. I'm showing my whole ass today while I'm reading, y'all, but that's like something my mother used to say to me all the time, and she didn't understand the meaning of the word, and this, like, well, you haven't sacrificed enough, so you don't know. Rah, rah, rah. It's such a, like, gross way to parent. And I see it as an adult from such a different perspective. Maybe some of y'all needed to hear that because you have, like, your own wounds around that word, around sacrifice. But let's talk about what this could mean for you in a healthy way. So first of all, rehabilitation. You need to know that you're going to bounce back. And I cannot stress that enough. Like, you are going to bounce back. You are going to be getting a blissful chapter. Okay. The next 30 days, I do feel like could be a little rough, but it's leading you to this time of rehabilitation. Sacrifice. I do feel that something you need to hear. It's probably something you've heard before, but your new life will cost you your old one. Okay. When we think about sacrifice, your new life will cost you your old one. And that is mainly because you have to become the person that has the life that you desire before you actually get it. And if you don't, it's going to make that new life feel extremely uncomfortable. You will sabotage it the moment that you get it. So look at your life right now. Like I literally, and just to like resonate with you a little bit, pile number one, I literally looked at my husband this morning and I was like, my whole life feels like it's on fire. Like, and I'm not saying this for like, I don't need sympathy or anything. I'm cool. Like, I have a support system around me that can support this. I'm saying this in like solidarity so that you know, I'm not just sitting here spitting facts at you without having experienced things myself. But like, I literally looked at my husband this morning and I was like, I feel like my whole life is on fire. Like, I feel like business wise, things aren't going the way I want them to. I feel like my personal health doesn't feel how I want it to. I feel like actually, my friendships, I would say for the most part, are going extremely well right now. Like, I'm in a really good, healthy place with connection and friendship where I like have appropriate boundaries and I feel very good about them, which is awesome. So I guess not every sector of my life. Like my spiritual habits and hygiene, I didn't feel like we're in the best place. I could sit here and like go on and on and on here where like every area of my life was just feeling awful. And my husband was like, well, Kloee, like that's a part of being human. Like sometimes you get off kilter and it's okay. Like, which is what you've experienced, with that reverse two of pentacles. It's okay. This is why we hire help when we get the opportunity to. And if we don't have the opportunity, like this is why we're in a partnership, is to help each other. And he literally sat there and was like, Kloee, how can I make your life easier? What is it that you feel like you need around this house that I could help with? And it's just like, ugh, you never settle, y'all. If any of y'all are in like bullshit relationships with stupid people, please never settle until you have somebody with you that like makes your life easier, better, and less complicated. My husband is a fucking angel baby and I'm so blessed. But not that we haven't been through our own nonsense, but truly, he's such an angel baby. But that's what I'm saying is like where was I going with that story? That was such an ADHD rant. This is what you get when you come to my readings, okay? But when it comes to if every area of your life feels like that, what do you need to sacrifice right now so that you can feel better? I can tell you in my own life right now, I have been spending way too much time on social media. Way, way, way too much. Like to an unhealthy degree. And I tell myself silly things like, oh, it's for market research. It's so I can like change things in my business that will benefit me. It's so I can keep up. But like, girl, I could do that on one day of the week and then actually be creating other days of the week, So like, what are the habits in your life that you would have to sacrifice right now to actually make this blissful chapter of your life come through? Because like I said, if you got it tomorrow, you would probably be so anxious that it just showed up that effortlessly without you having to be mentally in it or like be, how do I even say this? But like without putting yourself there first, physically, mentally, spiritually, it would be so upsetting to your current self that, like I said, you would sabotage it immediately. So yes, your new life, this next blissful chapter that is coming in for you is going to cost you where you currently are, but what is it that you can let go of to get there? And let's go ahead and get you a journal prompt. I love ending our readings with these because I just think they're so helpful. And while I'm shuffling these, thank you so much, Tarot Stack, for sponsoring today's video. If you would like more from me, especially if you want to like unfuck your life, please check out both of my courses. They are so reasonably priced. And one of them is like a 4-week program that's currently $55, used to be $222, but so many of you asked me if I could keep it lower because like paydays or things like that. And so currently it's still set at that on KhloeTaylor.com. But I literally run myself through this program. I will be doing that today, actually re-listening to my stuff because my life feels a little crazy right now and I need to like redistribute some things. And then I also have my Vision Board to Destiny course, which helps you to get through any blockages, literally any. any blockages standing in your way in terms of manifesting what you want. It really is like the myth buster. Okay. So I recently, one of y'all actually commented under one of my videos and you were like, please buy that course, y'all. Kloee knows what she's talking about. And you're so sweet. Thank you. But that I also have private readings when they're in stock, which like every time I stock them, y'all sell them out. So, but on KhloeTaylor.com as well. And I also have my Instagram, my threads. I'm at Kloee Taylor, and my Patreon, patreon.com/KhloeTaylor. If you want some more behind the scenes look at my life, what I do, as well as astrology content, extra pick of cards, extra tarot content, and all that jazz, be sure to support me there. And let's go ahead and get your prompt. All right. We have I been holding on to something that I need to let go of? Oh my goddess. If you feel bold enough, please share this in the comment section. I would love to read what you've been going through and like try to be your hype woman and support you through this. I will say for myself, I'll be the brave one first. I have definitely been holding on to still, even though it's gotten significantly better, I still hold on to the like panic attacks that I had in 2021. I still like anytime I start to get too anxious, I start to get scared that it's going to evolve into a panic attack. And then I can like think my way into a panic attack. I don't know how, if y'all feel that way, but I can. And I have to be really mindful, you know, really demure, really mindful, really cutesy about not doing that to myself, because I'm able to bring myself off the ledge as well with a lot of the tools that I've gained over time. But I do feel like there is something that like energetically I need to let go from that time period of my life. So it's something I need to work on. But what do you need to let go of? What do you need to let go of? All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I will talk to you on Sunday for the podcast. Bye. All right. Pile number 2. Thank you so much for choosing this pile. If you chose the sun and the oyster shell, which like, can we just get a moment for this? I got this at the beach that I live on. So beautiful. But I just want to say, firstly, thank you so much for listening to my ad reads. They support me, they support the small business that I work with, and they allow me to put food on my table. So thank you so much. Just bear with me for a moment while I talk about today's sponsor. So we are sponsored today by Tarot Stack. If y'all have been here for a long time, you already know them. We work with them all the time. Tarot Stack is an online retailer that sells independent artist tarot decks. So if you're looking for something more independent created, they are like the one-stop shop. I love them. I was purchasing from them before I ever worked with them. I have countless decks from them. All of them are high quality. The imagery is beautiful. And honestly, they're just such a joy to work with. So, and they're always like adding new stock. Like one of the other decks that we're going to use today is one that I'm obsessed with, and they recently added it to their collection. It's the Oracle deck that we're going to use. So definitely check them out if you feel like you're looking for some new decks or want to add some tarot decks to a friend's collection. They are wonderful for that. Links to all the decks that we use today in the description box, as well as to their website. So thank you so much, Tarot Stack. Let's go ahead and get into it. So while I was, excuse me, while I was meditating on your pile beforehand, I did get the notion that right now you maybe like the spotlight has been on you. You maybe have been a little more popular. You may have also just recently celebrated a birthday, or you're about to. I also heard, so just some things that might help to decipher if this is your pile. But we're just going to give these cards one more shuffle, and then we're going to see where you currently are, and then what kind of your next moves are over the next 30 days. So 10 of Swords. All right. That's such a beautiful card. 6 of Wands. Queen of Swords. The Universe. Okay. So, as I said, spotlight's been kind of on you with the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is like the peacocking card. It's literally about like showing off a little bit, putting yourself out there in a new way. But I want to first focus on, before we even get onto that, the Ten of Swords, bestie. What's going on? Ten of Swords tells me that you recently maybe have been through it a little bit. Ten of Swords is like sunsetting something on your life. Meaning like letting something really major go, letting something come to a natural close. Maybe it's something that has been really hard on you. I heard specifically just now, like through my intuition, that some of you maybe even cut a parent out of your life. That's really specific, I know, so probably not everyone's message, but you maybe recently cut a parent out of your life. Or cut someone out of your life because they were just draining your energy, and you really had to go through that. However, I think you've noticed since doing that how much better you've actually felt. And that's not to say that it can't be like hurtful. Like, I think about a friend that I cut out of my life a couple of years ago, and I still like send love to that person because we had so much fun together for a few years. The few years that I knew them, we had so much fun together. I think about all the times that we laughed and had good times. But also, like, I recognized that where I was going and what I was changing about myself mentally specifically, we were not a good fit for each other anymore. And it's a good thing that at that time that relationship ended. However, you know, it can still be bittersweet. It can be sad and hopeful at the same time. But Six of Wands tells me that you have been recouping your energy. Things have been feeling a little bit better, which I think has been really good for you. Then we have Queen of Swords. This is why I was like, maybe you cut someone off or you've had to have really strict boundaries, because Queen of Swords, this is all about having boundaries, having appropriate lines drawn in the sand to protect yourself and your energy. And I feel like you've kind of, maybe you even did this at first and you were like, oh, maybe things will change in the future. But now that you've seen how much better you feel, you're very much in this like, no, this is terrible. I will not go back to this person. We will not have the connection that we used to have. I don't want it. I just am so much more protected, prayed up, and feeling so much better. Now, we also have the Universe card here for you, which is specific to this deck. And I don't think I have the book for this deck around me. I wonder if... I mean, I could take a pretty good guess. Also, sorry if the audio sounds weird there for a second. I could take a pretty good guess what this one means just off of like the vibes, which is how I usually read, but Spirit was telling me to look towards the, oh, okay. So I found it. So the universe represents the peak of a soulful journey. When the stepping stones of your path join in brilliant completion. Sorry, I cannot read. Mercury's in the microwave. After all you have gleaned and built along the way, you can now look back on your accomplishments and take the time to celebrate your wins. This is the ultimate synthesis of success and spiritual fulfillment that nourishes your heart beyond mere physical needs and limitations. This goes much deeper. You have become wiser, softer, more awakened, which delivers a newfound awareness of what you would like to cultivate next. You've worked through the trials and tribulations and have grown in strength. As you witness yourself becoming a powerful co-creator of your own story, the dynamic energy replenishes your confidence and illuminates the future with shimmering possibilities. There is much to look forward to. So, like, honestly, bestie, I think you're kind of in a good place. Like, you were like, I trimmed the fat in my life. I trimmed the fat, not physically, but like, you like cut something or someone or something out of your life that was really not serving, and you thought it was going to be temporary, but you realized that the way you feel is a direct reflection of what you've done. And you're like, no, actually, we're going to keep this going forward, and it feels good. So actually, I think you're in like a really good, healthy place right now. So let's go ahead and see over the next 30 days what's coming in, bearing that in mind. The Hierophant, okay. The Eight of Swords. Seven of Crystals, and the Sun reversed. Okay. So the Hierophant typically is about like being a teacher or finding a mentor or teacher in the next 30 days. So in the next 30 days, you are either going to be like giving a speech, teaching somebody something, or there is a mentor coming into your life that is going to be really important. And this doesn't have to be a physical person. Like, it doesn't have to be somebody that you meet face to face with. This could be a content creator, somebody that has a podcast, you read somebody's book. I just want you to know that like mentorship comes in many forms. The Eight of Swords and the Sun being reversed are a little bit to me, only because the Eight of Swords is like limiting beliefs. And that does happen, bestie. Sometimes when we get to a place in our life, like that is the rhythm of life. There are ups and there are downs. There are ups and there are downs. It is a natural rhythm that we go back and forth from. There is no point in your life where you are going to be constantly on the up or constantly on the down. And from the down times, we appreciate the good times more. I'm not saying that terrible things are going to happen. Like, there's no tower here. There's nothing that would show me that things are going to be so like crazy. However, with the Eight of Swords, I do feel like you start to fall into a limiting belief pattern again a little bit, where you start to believe the doubts of your mind. And Spirit is saying the way through that over the next 30 days when these things crop up is through the Seven of Crystals, which is the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Crystals is all about tending to the different things in your life. So I would highly recommend, if you have not purchased my Authentically Aligned course, I go over something like this. I mean, you don't have to get it from me. If like you'd rather find the information elsewhere, totally do that. Disregard what I'm about to say. But ultimately, I'm telling you this because I think it would actually help. I have this thing in my Authentically Aligned course where I show you how to rate the different areas and different sectors of your life and like basically how to improve that. Like, if you feel like certain areas aren't feeling good, I coach you directly through how to improve that and how to like move forward over time so that they actually improve. And I feel like the Seven of Crystals is very much that. It's tending to all the different areas of your life. So Seven of Crystals to me is like, that's the energy you're going to want to be in. So if you feel like you need help, I would suggest you check that out. The Sun card being reversed, this to me is almost an amplification of the Sun, where the Sun already feels awesome. It's a joyous, special, magical time where everything feels good. And like the Sun literally shines on you. Like I said, you maybe are a Leo or a Virgo if you're listening to this as it comes out. But if you're not, maybe you're in your birthday season, because when the Sun transits your natal sun, it's your birthday season. When I see it reversed, I feel that it's almost like you want to step out of the spotlight a little bit. You want to hide away a little bit more. And that's not because of a bad thing. Ooh, sorry, I was shuffling another deck for you and throwing cards. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's that sometimes when you've had a lot of like time in the sun, you need to go and lay down and take a nap, you know, like, or if you've spent a lot of time socializing, sometimes you need to go recharge your battery alone. So I'm seeing this more as like in the next 30 days, you are going to need to take some time out to kind of recoup your energy because you've been spending it a lot. And just like making time for that, you know? Okay, so we also have for you Sacrifice. Oh my gosh, this card came out for pile number 1 as well. Sacrifice and Claim Your Energy. Okay, so with the card Sacrifice, this is, to me, exactly what I told pile number 1, which is your new life will always cost you your old one. If you want your life to transmute and change in such a way, you can't be doing the things that you were doing before, because if you've done what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. And so if you want to see change, you are going to have to sacrifice habits that aren't currently supporting you in favor of ones that do. And with Claim Your Energy, you are really on the path of up level. You are like ready to do the damn thing. You are ready to like be in your manifesting energy, which like you never turn manifestation off. It's always going. But when you're more intentional about your life choices and more mindful, you're able to pull more of what you want into your life and repel the things that you don't. So when you stand in your power and claim your own energy, that's more of what you're going to get from it. So see this as a thing of empowerment, not like you're losing something, right? Like, let's say you feel like your physical health could be better and you want to start like a workout routine. Okay. This is just an example. The way that you would reclaim your energy isn't by saying, oh my gosh, it's going to be so hard. This is going to suck. This is going to hurt. You say, oh, I actually love what working out does for my mental health. I love how much more flexible I am. I love how this integrates into my life and supports me. That would be more on claiming your energy and like doing it in a way that supports you. Because yeah, committing time to like go to a gym or move your body when you haven't, it is a sacrifice. But ultimately, it's a sacrifice that is made to better you. So that's what I'm saying. Now, I also do have a journal prompt for you. And while I shuffle these, I just want to say thank you to Tarot Stack for sponsoring today's video. I also want to remind you that on KhloeTaylor.com, I do have private readings available, though y'all are always selling those out, so get them while you can. And then I also have my 2 courses, Authentically Aligned, which I already mentioned to you. And I also have Vision Board to Destiny, which to me is the foolproof method on manifesting your life through using a vision board. And literally it will help you remove any blockage that you have. Like, you will be manifesting the stuff on your vision board so easily when you go through that. I use that technique on myself because it works so well. I stand on business and I stand behind that one. And it's really easy too. It's more like a master class. Like, there's a workbook and then there's a video that goes with it. And it will like blast you through any beliefs that have been holding you back, especially when you get into this like 8 of Swords energy too. And then I also have my Patreon if you want more behind the scenes content from me, what my day today looks like, as well as extra pick of cards and astrology content. And I also have my Instagram and my threads. I'm at Kloee Taylor, and I would love for you to follow me there. All right, let's see what your journal prompt is. We have, what is my intuition telling me, and do I trust it? Ooh, that's such a powerful prompt, because your intuition might be telling you something, but you might be completely not listening to it or not trusting yourself to actually feel it. So journal on that. I feel like my intuition is telling me, I'll be the, if you want to share, please put this in the comment section, like what your response is. You know, don't leave me hanging and let me doing this by myself. My intuition is telling me that the next home that I move to is going to be even better than the one that I'm currently in. And like, having that propel me into the next chapter of my life, so much of the things that I want are going to come from that. And like, to not be scared of this change. And I would say that I do trust it, but of course I'm human and I still have fears. But don't leave me hanging. What was your response to that? Feel free to write it out in the comments, and I would love to respond to you and hype you up. And thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I will talk to you in the next video. Actually, I'll talk to you on Sunday for the podcast. Bye. All right, pile number 3, if you chose the Sagittarius symbol as well as the crystal that we could not pronounce. Also, this crystal is from the Witch's Moon, who I love very much, so love that. It's new to my collection. That's probably why I didn't remember how to pronounce it. But before we get into your reading, pile number 3, I want to thank you for sitting through my ad read. And thank you because it supports this small business. It supports me as a creator to put food on my table from my ads in my videos. So thank you so much for sitting through this. And please allow me to tell you about Tarot Stack. So Tarot Stack is an online retailer that actually puts indie tarot decks in your hands. They distribute indie tarot decks, and I purchased from them before I ever worked with them. Like, I was already a consumer myself, and that's why I love them so much, and I put my faith in them, and I always back them on my channel because they were somebody that I feel like lucky to work with. So thank you so much, Tarot Stack. All of the decks that you see in today's video are coming from there, and I will link them all down below for you, as well as a link to Tarot Stack, just like their website. If you're looking for a new deck for your collection or for a friend's collection, they are a great, reputable place to go through. And their cardstock is always really amazing. Like all their decks are always really good. Like the cardstock is good. The imagery is always really cool and stuff that I've never seen anywhere else. And it supports independent artists. So like, why would you not want to do that, you know? Anyways, thank you, Tarot Stack. Let's go ahead and get into your reading now. So this one is the Moonchild Tarot, but it's like the original edition or the light edition. There's the dark edition we used for pile number 1, but this is the light edition. And we have other decks we'll be using today too. Okay, I'm just going to give this a quick little shuffle. And we're going to be looking at not only what you're manifesting, or like, I wouldn't even say manifesting, but like what's coming into your life in the next 30 days, but I want to know like where you are right now. So something I got for your reading though, before even like pulling cards, is that I do feel like you're entering a more optimistic chapter, and one filled with maybe a little more adventure, or that might be something that you currently want. And that could just be like a telltale sign that this is your reading. You also might be a Sagittarius placement, because there we did pull that Sag symbol, but you don't have to be for this to be your reading. It's just something that I wanted to point out. All right, let's see. The High Priestess. Okay, love that. This is where you currently are. 6 of Cups. 9 of Cups. Okay. And Death. Okay, so where you currently are, I actually don't think this is bad. I mean, I don't think it's ever bad. I think wherever we are is where we're supposed to be. But I feel like sometimes when the Death card comes up, it's a little like, ooh, you know. But I actually think that this is extremely beneficial for you, because first of all, you have the High Priestess. You are really in alignment with your intuition right now. Your intuition is popping off, and you need to be trusting it because it's accurate. It's accurate. And like, you may be having prophetic dreams, having thoughts come to you that are, and not in like the you need to believe everything that you think, because that's not always the case. But like, here's the difference. Okay. Intuition is soft and quiet. Your anxiety will scream. So like, a great way that I like to talk about this, if you're unsure, if you're someone that's like, I don't know, like, how do I know if it's my intuition? Let me give you this example from my own life that it was like the perfect example. Okay. Kind of it's a story. Anyways, I'll try to keep it brief, but this is like a way that you'll know. Okay. So in my own life, in 2017, man, 2017 was such a garbage year. So many bad things happened that year for me. Anyways, I needed to have my gallbladder removed because I was having attacks for like almost 2 years with no diagnosis. And when I finally got diagnosed, it was almost 2 years later. It was so bad that I ended up needing emergency surgery. But how that came about, so I went into the ER that week. They told me that they would schedule surgery for the next week, which is already crazy. Like, usually they make you sit on that, but my case was so bad that they wanted to get it out. So I went home and just tried to, like, you know, I was literally drinking like broth and eating vegetables, because if you don't know about your gallbladder, it's something that like fat and like a diet high in fat and like fried foods can make it worse. So can like dairy. There's so many things that can trigger the problem. And so I was eating like next to nothing because everything made me feel sick. And I was already like so stressed because of all of the turmoil that being undiagnosed and having gallbladder attacks was doing to me, that like that was a whole other mental ball game. But like a few days before my surgery was going to happen, I was laying in bed, I was playing a video game, I had just drank some like broth, and I just had this thought come to me, and it was in my own voice, and it just said, you need to go get your husband and you need to go to the hospital, like now. I wasn't in any pain. Everything was okay in that moment, but I just knew. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm getting chills as I'm talking about it. I just knew, and I was really calm. I was extremely calm. And I was like, okay, I need to go put my shoes on. I need to get my husband and I need to go. And so I went and I got him, and he was like streaming. We both used to stream on Twitch a lot. He was streaming, so he ended his broadcast and we went to the hospital. By the time I got into a room in the ER, I was in the worst pain I have ever been in my entire life. Like it was, I would save my 10. Like if a doctor would ask me, is it a 10? I would save my 10, right? Because if it's a 10, that's like the worst pain you've ever been in. I was like, bitch, this shit is a 45. This is like the worst I've ever felt in my entire life. I thought I was gonna die. And it was okay up until like, you know, I was able to get to the hospital, but things got so bad that like they gave me morphine and it didn't even touch it. And so then they came back like 45 minutes later and gave me Dilaudid, which is like morphine on steroids. And that also hurt. But like I was still, or no, it didn't hurt, but like I was still in pain. And I remember being like so out of it. And my husband being like, Kloee, you don't seem like you're thrashing anymore. Are you okay? How do you feel? And he's like, are you feeling better? And I said, no, I just can't move. Like I was so drugged up, I couldn't move, but I was still in pain. Anyways, that's a whole other story. The point is, my intuition calmly was like, hey, you should go now. You need to go now. And had I waited, it could have been significantly more agonizing. Like, I was in literally an emergency situation. Like I had pancreatitis. It had gotten so bad that I got pancreatitis, and I was hospitalized for like a week, and they had to wait to operate until my pancreas inflammation went down, because like my pancreas could have burst and that could have killed me. So like, yeah, it was really intense. It was really crazy. And sorry to anybody that I just triggered the hell out of. I hope you did not stay and listen to this or skipped ahead if you know that like medical stuff is triggering to you. But my point is, that's how your intuition works, okay? Your intuition will never scream at you. It is always going to be this calm sense of awareness or sense of knowing. Your ego is the thing that will scream. And the ego sometimes does need to scream. You know, if there's a car coming, your ego will scream to like look both ways. You know, that's something that we need. It's good for us. However, your intuition's never going to scream at you like that. Your intuition is always going to be a soft calm. And you're in that, okay? You're in that. You need to trust it. 6 of Cups, you're afraid of the past. Pile number 1 got this in their reading as well. You are afraid of things that have happened in the past, but you need to know that this is actually turning out way, way, way better. And the 9 of Cups, you are actually manifesting something so crazy and you can't even see it yet. Like the best case scenario is literally about to happen. The Death card, the reason why I said I think this is a benefit to you is that where you have been in life is going to actually melt away. Like, if you have felt less optimistic, if you have felt your sense of adventure taken away from you, if you have felt like different areas of your life have not been making sense, you're going through this metamorphosis so that you can come out the other side with exactly what you're asking for, right? Like sometimes, I think that's the thing that most people are not prepared for. When you like sit down with the universe and you intentionally say, hey, I want this thing, or I want X, Y, and Z, you don't realize that sometimes powerful change has to come through to get you there. So trust that. There is powerful change coming to your life that is actually for your benefit. Now, let's keep going and see over these next 30 days, like what you can do, what energy is coming up. The Magician, oh my gosh, not you being a powerful manifester. I love it. Knight of Swords. Okay, okay, okay. 10 of Pentacles, money, so much money. 4 of Cups. Okay. 10 of Pentacles is wealth. It's money. It's making a lot of money. It's not little money. It's a lot of money. The Magician, this is all about like being a powerful manifester that understands that the universe is conspiring in your favor and conspiring with you. And so it's like when we feel like we are in our magician energy, we feel in our powerful energy. My husband and I call this being a magic baby. Like if you think about babies that have nothing, right? They don't have all of these preconceived notions about the human life and the human experience. And my husband and I call it being a magic baby because if you didn't have any preconceived notions about like money and manifesting, kids just walk around and create magic out of nothing all the time. They're like, this bug is now my friend, and this stick is a wand, and this mud, I just made soup. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids are so magical. And when you get into your magician energy, it's being in that magic baby energy, okay? Being a magic baby means you don't give a damn about the preconceived notions. You just are in this moment creating what you want. So you are an insanely powerful manifester for the next 30 days. And I can really see that with the Nine of Cups coming out and the Death card. The Knight of Swords, I do feel like you're going to have to do probably some quick action. So be prepared for that. Be prepared to make quick moves, quick action. Say things with your whole chest, okay? Don't hold back. Your voice is your tool right now that you should be paying attention to. Ten of Pentacles, this is money, honey. Ten of Pentacles is getting paid what you have been waiting for. So getting paid, getting excellent money, it's not a little. To me, this is like a huge, like, I would say like in like the 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. Like this is a lot of money coming towards you. It's not a little, it's a lot. And it's like it's something you've prayed for. It's something you've asked for. You've wanted this. Maybe for different reasons. Maybe it could just, I mean, who wouldn't take extra money, to be honest? But like having that, what can it do for your life and how can it benefit you? Because you need to be ready for that. And then Four of Cups, this is all about basically reflecting on what is next. I feel like you're going to manifest some really awesome stuff, okay? But the Four of Cups to me is like reflecting almost too much. Reflecting almost too much to a way that you start to feel uneasy or stressed, because the Four of Cups, like this card literally says, and I quote, as your own reflection fades into a shadow obscurity, it can be difficult to see the world around us as a place for healing and light. This card speaks of the tormented emotion states that can often impair our grasp on reality. When depression, self-pity, or sadness sink in and we retreat into our own world, our sensations and feelings can be overpowering and illusionary. We may feel lost, hopeless, or even complacent, which may be an indication that we should consider our emotions head on and examine the roots of our anguish. If you're fearful or indifferent about making a change, you may continue to dwell in a perpetual state of limbo. This card may also suggest that you are overlooking something. Perhaps a solution is closer than you think. You have a system of love and support in your life. How can you source from this unconditional source? This unconditional strength. Sorry, I felt like source was a weird thing. So this is a lot about having more introspection. I'm going to pull one more card with this. We also have the Three of Wands. So you're meant to have a lot of introspection over the next 30 days so that you can actually expand. The more you feel yourself sinking into yourself, the more you need to ask yourself, how can I use this to expand? Because you're meant to expand. Okay, let's go ahead and pull some oracle cards to see what over the next 30 days. Endless serendipity, bruh. You are getting exactly what you asked for. Like, stuff is going to be making so much sense. You're going to be seeing so many synchronicities lining up for you. It's going to be crazy. And then we have Fighting Spirit, which I'm going to actually open the book on this one because I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if I've seen this card in particular. Where is my book? Did I drop it? Oh, here it is. Sorry, y'all. Okay, Fighting Spirit. That is card number 54. The simple message behind the card is never give up. You are so much more than your fears, worries, and insecurities. Now is the right time to turn your back. Now is not the right time to turn your back on a challenge. Fight any urges to quit when the going gets tough. You have all the strength and courage you need to overcome obstacles within. You simply need to unleash your fighting spirit and be unafraid to leave the ring with without one or two scratches. Sorry. Be unafraid to leave the ring with one or two scratches. After all, those are only skin deep, but the newfound courage and bravery you will discover within go beyond the surface level and into the depths of who you are. Your inner fighting spirit is ready to be unleashed. So, going to bat for yourself as well. I feel like if you start to get into this like poor me, pity me mentality after receiving all of this goodness, because that happens. It's a rhythm, right? We go in through ups and downs. Spirit is ultimately saying that you need to question that. Question when you start to feel down. How can you rise out again? Sometimes sitting and laying down for a while is good, but sometimes you also need to pick yourself up and keep fighting. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and get a journal prompt for you that will help you kind of integrate this stuff. And while I shuffle these, I just want to say thank you to Tarot Stack for sponsoring the video. I want to remind you that I have 2 courses available to you. My Authentically Aligned course, which is a 4-week course that helps you to really like unfuck your life, basically. And it's $55 currently, normally at $222, so great deal, will help. And then I also have my Vision Board to Destiny course, which if you struggle to manifest with vision boards, this is the like masterclass. It's a masterclass that will literally change that for you completely. It's a video and a workbook. I use my own process every time I make a new vision board and I manifest. Like the house that I'm currently living in, I manifested off of that vision board. So many things magically work together for me when I make vision boards. So I'm a big believer in them. And if you feel like you need help with that, check it out. You can also book a private reading with me. All of that on KhloeTaylor.com. I also have my Patreon if you would like to support me as a creator, get some behind the scenes content, as well as more pick a cards and some astrology content. I would love to have you there as a patron. All right, let's see what your journal prompt is. We have, where do I doubt myself the most? Are my doubts true to reality or caused by overthinking? Ooh, okay. Leave me a comment down below answering this for yourself and I will cheer you on. For myself, I definitely doubt my reach, I think, a lot. And this is just like my humanness coming out, so I hope it's okay. But like sometimes when a video like doesn't perform, and if you've never been a YouTuber, you won't understand like what it feels like. But when something doesn't perform, I will start to doubt everything that I do. I'm like, why am I even doing this? What is the point of sharing my podcast? Does anybody even listen to this? What is the point of like making these YouTube videos? Do they actually help anyone? And they're not real. Like, that's not reality. The fact of the matter is, usually at least 10,000 people click on my pick a cards. That's crazy. That's a lot of people. I do make an impact. And so many of you comment and tell me that. So many of you like write to me on Instagram and tell me that I have made an impact, that I've touched you in some way, that I have helped you to change your life for the better. And that's why I do everything that I do. So like, that's the reality check I constantly have to give to myself, because I will start to overthink, because yes, what I do creatively is also how I live. And so if that ever feels like it's being tampered with by anything, it starts to grate on me and I have to like keep that in check. So I will doubt myself the most though, in like my reach and what, it's funny. I feel like this pile is really linked to pile number 1, because we talked a little bit about that, like how important your reach is, but that's for me. So don't leave me hanging. Share below if you feel brave enough what your answer is to that. And thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I will talk to you on Sunday for the podcast. Bye.